Welcome to the Fallout House of Secrets edition. I had to think about that one because I forgot what we're calling this season.
House
Where your number
of
House of something. House of people. I don't know. But welcome to the Fallout, where we are the number one source for the fallout of all things reality TV. Today we are doing our part one of our week three. Words are hard, y'all. We are doing part one of our week three recap for Big Brother Australia 2021. Whew, did that. I'm Logan Murphy.
I'm Jordan Legacy.
And we're back. Yay. A day later than we normally do it, but who cares?
Look, I've been sick.
I've been sick.
Life is hard.
Life is very difficult. You know what else is difficult? Big Brother. Big Brother's pretty difficult.
Yes.
I wouldn't know because I still haven't been on, but
how would you have handled yourself with this format and sinister and saucy of it all?
I probably would have been like one of the first people voted out, honestly, because if everything's a physical comp, I'm not a physical person. Quarantine did me dirty. I was a physical person. I am no longer a physical person. But yeah, so we are going to be talking episodes 8 and 9 of BBAU. But before we get started, if you're watching with us live or after the fact on YouTube, make sure you are subscribing to the channel, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, following, or sharing all the YouTube things.
Doing all the things.
Doing all the things. And if you're listening to us afterwards, wherever fine podcasts can be listened to, make sure you're also subscribing, liking, giving us a comment, sharing, because we are literally the only podcast in the world covering Big Brother Australia. So this is it. Sorry.
Facts.
And without further ado,
we're not even in that country.
We're not even close to Australia. I'm technically closer, but if we're talking between the two of us, I'm closer. But yes, so we're gonna start. So we start episode 8. There's this cute little like charades moment, and we get good old Mitch talking in the DR about who he loves more, Platypie or Christina.
Lord help us all.
God help us. But more importantly than Mitch's ongoing struggle with Platypie and Christina, the mamas are back. Yay!
And
Two of my faves. Danny's salty, Nick is salty, everybody is salty. And by everybody, I mean just the two of them, because everybody else is really happy.
Mel surprisingly didn't react too much.
I mean, I think this is kind of, these two episodes especially are kind of where we see Mel start to shift away from the Danny and the Nick, which I'm happy to see because Lord knows we don't like Danny or Nick. Apparently we are in the minority though, Jordan. I don't know if you've seen some of the polls on the BBAU Twitter accounts online, but people are loving Danny and I don't get it. I will not understand.
I don't get it either.
Like, I genuinely don't understand. Like, I think he's probably a nice enough person in the real world, but he's just coming off as such a dick. And I don't understand. Like,
he also kind of comes off like a woman hater.
A little bit. Yeah, I see that as well. Just a little bit. So we start this episode after the recap, you know, the moms are back, and we get the big red Button!
Love a good big red button.
Yes. So last week was
You know what
surprise
I
week. This
don't
week,
like?
what?
The creepy music that comes with the
Oh
button.
my god. Dun 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 dun. Whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, so there's some creepy music in the house. This button is gonna be in the house all week, apparently. So like work. And if you hit the button, you get a prize or a punishment. It kind of just depends on when you hit the button. So, of course, in typical Big Brother fashion, as soon as he announces the big red button goes off. And the first person to get to it, of course, our dear, lovely, beautiful, amazing Tilly.
Oh, Tilly.
But I love Tilly. I hate the side of the house that she's on, but
And you get a vintage ice cream truck.
yeah, so she got a prize. I was kind of surprised that the first one was a prize.
I was too, but also not really surprised because I think they want to have the house guests drop the guard a little bit with the button.
Yeah, I was happy to see it.
What I didn't love was she had to serve her own ice cream.
Yeah, so she had to serve the ice cream, and then she got to pick 3 people to enjoy ice cream with her, and she chose Mary, Nick, and Jess. It felt like a very arbitrary group. I think it was actually. I think there was reasoning. It was Mary because she cooks for the house, Nick because he's missing his dog, and Jess because of her nan. I think that was like the reasoning.
Right.
Which I love. On board. Love to see it. And then at this point, we get sort of. This is kind of the big strategy point, I would say, for the week. We're only talking about Sunday and Monday's episodes, but this seems to be the big strategy talk that we're getting for the week. And it's Danny trying to make this. It's Danny trying to make this alliance with obviously Mel and Nick, but also the other sort of alpha group in the house being Katie, Jess, and Marley. And they decide to try to make this top 10 deal, which eventually Jess and Katie agree to, but don't really agree to it. And they're like, well, we'll go back on it if we need to. We'll talk about it. So we get a lot more people waiting on the button. Jess pushes the button. And then there's puppies, Jordan. There's puppies.
They were cute
puppies. They were adorable. And then good old Mitch is waiting in the rain for the button. And he gets the button. And I feel like this was a little produced. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jordan.
This felt heavily influenced. I'm not gonna lie either.
A lot of this week feels heavily influenced. We'll talk about it a little bit today and a little bit on Saturday. So conveniently, Mitch hits the button and conveniently goes to the DR and then conveniently has the materials for a dinner date for 2.
Indeed.
Big brother, you're trifling. I can't do it. So obviously he picks Christina. And this is like a really, really cute moment. I like the 2 of them together. I think they're really cute. I don't know if Christina is necessarily on board, but I love them together.
We already
I think
have that feeling that she isn't, given.
Yeah, I mean, we've had DR conversations saying that, you know, she's not really into him, but we see after this date, she's kind of like, he's such a nice guy, all this stuff. I don't know. I feel bad for Mitch because I like Mitch a lot.
For Mitch.
Yeah. So we get more of the button because we're getting the button all week, Jordan. Lots of the button. More button. Did I mention the button? Drink every time they say the big red button. Add that to the drinking
every
game.
time I hear the music from the Big Red Button, I wouldn't be sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely same.
I just have visions of creepy clowns coming out of the walls.
And you know who else wasn't sleeping on day 19, Jordan? It was Charlotte. Because Charlotte's up in the middle of the night, and she presses the button, and then she has to sleep outside until the morning. And I was like, that's horrible. Like, that's just not fun.
This button is a trifling hoe.
This button is a trifling hoe. Sid also gets a punishment, and it's kind of a dual punishment because now Danny has to read from his book to Sid. I will say, as much as I may not like Danny, this was a super emotional moment. And we see a little bit of this in this episode and the next episode, I believe.
It was also funny.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Daniel had a book up until this moment?
No. But to be honest with you, I'm not surprised.
It sounds like
I'm
quite
really
the
not
book.
surprised. Maybe I'll go buy the book. Maybe, what? I'm going to say it right now. If Danny wins this season, I will buy his book.
I will not be buying his book.
Yeah, he's getting emotional because there's a part in his book about his kids, and I was like, oh. And then he turns around and he's like acting out, and I'm just like, fuck you, bro. Like,
there's been moments this season where I want to like him.
There's moments that are endearing, and then he does stupid shit. Yeah. Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. I'm just like, why? Just why? So, are you ready for a nomination challenge, Jordan?
Yes.
How would you have done in this challenge?
I'm trying to remember what it was.
So, it was the one where it was the pulley with the board, and you had to like pull yourself on the pulley, and the pulley was keeping the board up. So you had to support your entire weight by pulling down on the like handle.
Hello, Sandpit, my old friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably would have dropped within like 10 seconds. Like, not the challenge for me, bruh. Not the challenge for me. And it also was not the challenge for FJ because she immediately is like, Big Brother, I'm not doing this. I have an injury. And I was like, that's fair. I can't be mad at that.
I like how Mary chimed in with the carpal tunnel.
Oh my God. Mary. Oh, I love Mary. Can we talk about Mary? I love Mary.
Is Mary ever going to win a challenge?
No. Mary will not win a challenge.
Poor Mary.
Absolutely not. Unless it's a cooking challenge, Jordan, Mary will not be winning a challenge on this season.
Poor Mary.
But, yeah, so the interesting thing for me is Jess is the first one out. And
you can imagine that Jess has a lot of muscle from playing like.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of her strength is also a lot of where my strength is, because my strength is in my legs and my back. Like I don't I have a good amount of upper body strength, but I don't have a lot. Which is why I would be absolutely shit in this challenge. So I kind of understood it. But we get a good series of everyone kind of dropping a little bit early. And the 5 that we're left with are at like top 5 are Katie, Tilly, Danny, Nick, and Sid. We then have Nick dropping and then Sid shortly after. Danny drops after almost 2 hours, and we're left once again, Jordan, with a final 2 of Katie and Tilly, which
Tilly is coming out with these challenge wins, Miss Tilly. She's going to watch.
She came out with another one. This is what, her second or third?
third, I think.
Did she win the team challenge? That's the one I'm trying to remember.
Team. What one was
I don't think she won the pushing the board bullshit. I don't think she won that.
No, I don't think so.
No, because she was fucking nominated. She almost went home. But instead they sent home Michael for some reason.
Yeah.
Remember Michael?
I mean, I didn't get enough of Michael. I don't know much about Michael.
Yeah. Remember Lil? Remember Renata? Like...
Renata had it coming.
Remember when Renata won the first challenge and I was like, queen, icon, legend, and then by the end of week 1 she was eliminated. Oh no!
Losing 4 people a week is a lot.
Oh my god.
This has been a journey.
We've only been doing this for 2 weeks, Jordan. This is week 3. It's so much Big Brother. And I think the thing for me is like with Big Brother US or Big Brother Canada, like they're spaced out at least. Like maybe there's like a Wednesday, Thursday. But like otherwise the other, like we get a few days break. But with BBAU, it's literally 4 days in a row. And so it's a lot to catch up on. Like I just fully caught up on the week today. And like, it's just a lot.
And I know like I'm watching almost as soon as I can get an episode. And there's been moments that like, I'm dying to talk about it. And you're like, I haven't seen it yet. And I'm like,
yeah. It is, you know, in this moment also, I want to give the biggest shout out to Video Brother because they have been our savior when it comes to this season. And literally, if it wasn't for them, I don't think we'd be covering this show. So, like, big shout out to Video Brother. Go support them monetarily if you are able to do so. I do so every year because I've used them for years. Like, they're just... absolutely incredible. And Heather, the person behind the live feeds, love. So, sorry, I just wanted to do my Video Brother shout out, Jordan. Okay?
Nominations.
I just wanted to do my shout out. So, yes. So, shockingly, Tilly nominates 2 of the same people she did the last time that she won a challenge, plus Mitch. And I'm like...
because everybody needs that safe fucking vote.
Yeah, so SJ is nominated because Tilly doesn't have a strong connection with her, and she's a big influence on the mood of the house, which I could see that. I understand that. Sid is sort of in the middle of the house. Not really sure. And Mitch hasn't been up before, and Tilly calls him her safe vote. And when I tell you, Jordan, I'm so fucking tired of safe votes. Like, I'm so tired of safe votes.
I have a safe vote for you. It's not actually a safe vote.
And who is your safe vote?
Brenton.
Oh my god. Oh, we'll talk about that on Saturday.
Come on, Monday.
Oh my god. So we get in the fallout of the noms, almost immediately, noms are announced and the button goes off, Jordan. And Nick is the one to get to the button. It's something like that. So Nick gets the button. I hate creepy clown music. So Nick gets the button, and he gets to decide which one of the nominated house guests gets to sit in a crate hanging above the Big Brother house. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I assume this isn't summer for them.
No, they filmed it in this. I think at this point it's either late October, early November.
Still, who wants to be in a cage all day?
Yeah. I don't remember what episode it was in this week, but we do find out that it's like the Big Brother house is on the outskirts of Sydney because we didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
It's on a cliff somewhere near Sydney, is what we found out this week.
When it initially got canceled, it used to be in a theme park.
Oh, I do remember that.
It was like Movie World or something.
Something like that, yeah. Weird. Just weird. So Nick decides that he's going to put Mitch in the crate because, again, Mitch is apparently the safe vote, and he wants to have a conversation with both SJ and Sid. And I'm just like, poor Mitch. But Mitch is living his best life in his cage, 15 meters above the Big Brother house, looking at birds. And I'm like, I wouldn't expect anything else, honestly.
I'm surprised he didn't request binoculars.
Right? I was just like, this just seems like too much. Like, it's just so much. Thank you. It was Dream World, Jordan.
See?
Thank you in the chat with us live. If you're watching with us live, or if you are listening afterwards, tell us who you would have nominated at this point in the game. Would you have nominated SJ for the 4th time? Would you have nominated Sid for the 3rd time? Let us know. So
SJ, that woman has been through a journey.
She's been evicted. She's been in an attic.
She cleaned the attic for Danny to live in. She cleaned
the attic. Oh my god, we'll talk about that. Speaking of Danny, he's in the DR at this point, and he thinks that the other side of the house is going to target Mitch just because he is a little bit closer to the Danny, Jess, Nick trio. And so he's obviously targeting SJ. Shocker. Sid and SJ talk, and they're upset that the people that are like doing the right thing, according to what they say, are continually being put up. And the big, potential swing vote, I don't know what I'm doing with my vote person for this episode, Jordan, is Christina. She's conflicted.
Hello, waffling. I'm having BB Can with throwbacks to the waffling.
I can't stand the waffling, Jordan. The waffling. I can't.
I feel like she ultimately she voted him out, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah. So, eviction room, we'll run through that quickly since Jordan has just spoiled who was eliminated. Jordan. So, SJ's disappointed that she's nominated again. Like I said, it's her 4th time nominated. It's Sid's 3rd time. And she's basically like, cut the bullshit, stop the safe votes. And I was like, thank you, SJ. It is at this point also
people want.
It is also at this point, Jordan, that Mitch has made his return to the house. Mitch is back.
He's been lowered from his bird watching perch.
Yeah, and he compares all the house guests to birds. And I thought this was really, really cute because he's like, I don't really know how to convey it in words, so I'm going to convey it through birds. And I was like, that's really cute.
That's a very Mitch thing to do, ain't it?
Yeah, and I love it. And then, Jordan.
Farewell.
Super Mario. Mitch. I'm so actually upset. And I would have been upset had any of the 3 of them been evicted because they're 3 of my favorites. But I'm just like, no.
It's that safe vote that everyone's... I think at this point, hopefully they've realized you're not ever... There's no safe vote.
Not really, but we'll talk about it.
But
yeah, so it was a vote of 9-4-0. We have Danny, Nick, Melissa, and Mitch voting to evict SJ, with everybody else voting to evict Mitch. And I'm sad. I'm really sad. We lost our bird watcher. And, Jordan, I'm upset. There will be
no more platypus sounds, impressions.
Honestly, we lost half the fucking entertainment.
Why are we still with Danny? Why do we still have him? Why is he popular?
I don't understand. Yeah, if y'all haven't seen it online, there's one specific account at BBAU Returns on Twitter. that does polls. And in those polls, like, people are overwhelmingly fans of Danny. And I just don't understand it.
Also,
like, if you want a villain to root for Ari.
That's the villain we all deserve.
Ari is the villain we all deserve. And speaking of Ari, we get a lovely conversation at the start of the next episode where he's talking with Big Brother in the DR, and he compares a bunch of the house guests to different fashion brands, which I love. The one that I want to point out, he says that Christina would be Dior. Shade. Katie would be Lululemon, which I love. Jess would be Nike, which I love. Marley would be Yeezy, which I also love. Danny would be Ralph Lauren, which was so great to me. And that Charlotte would be Zimmerman, which I think is like a higher end brand, but not like great.
And Big Brother
is Prada.
Saucy and Sinister Prada.
Love it. I have not been able to think of Big Brother in any other way other than in like a Prada suit since he said that. I was like, you know what? Honestly, you're right.
Big Brother is Lucifer Morningstar.
Honestly. We start day 20, Jordan. Everyone's smiling. Dan and Nick are the walking wounded, and I thought this was dumb, and I don't want to talk about it. And then we have another button. Oh my god, a button. Oh my god, the button. The button is happening. Button. And Tilly hits the button. And Tilly gets to pick a house guest. And Tilly picks Jess. And then they get to clean the house. And I was like, oh no. Not that.
I gotta say, props to Tilly, because Miss Tilly isn't afraid to push the button, punishment and all.
Mm-hmm. Literally, she's like racing to the fucking button every time. I'm like, no. I would not be hitting the button. But you know who did hit the button? Danny hit the button. And Danny, this is the best of the buttons so far. Danny gets to play The Floor is Lava, because I didn't realize we were bringing that Netflix show over to BBAU.
There was moments during that where I thought he looked like he was gonna die because he was out of breath.
Oh, yeah, but that would have been so fun for me. Like, I would have had a great time. And then
he got the host punished, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, but before he did that, Marley hits the button. Oh my god, button. It feels like a circle alert. I'm like, alert, panic, button, panic. Marley
every time the music went off, I would like jump because it really does sound like something out of like a horror movie.
It sounds like a horror circus. Like, that's what it sounds like.
And I have an undeathly fear of clowns, so Lord help us all.
Oh, great. But yeah, so Marley hits the button, and it's at this point, Jordan, I realize that apparently BBAU is sponsored by KFC. Because this is like the fourth fucking KFC thing they've gotten this season.
They sure love their KFC over in Big Brother Australia.
Yes. So it's at this point
Canada
Danny fails.
Gets Wendy's.
The US gets nothing. Nothing. I mean, we'll see. Oh, we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah, so Danny fails at this point while Marley is fully in the DR eating his KFC. And so the punishment is that all the house guests have to jump into the pool. And to get them out, Danny has to count to 1,000.
Oh, Lord. I gotta say, Saucy and Sinister Big Brother really enjoys his pool punishments.
Well, I mean, forcing people to get into a cold pool, sure.
Yeah, like that water's got to be cold.
Oh yeah, especially because it's no, it's not. It wouldn't be winter. It would be summer for them. Because Southern Hemisphere.
They're sure getting a lot of rain.
Yeah. Is that a typical thing for Australia? Let us know in the comments if you know. So they do that, and then another button. Oh my god, button. And this time Jess hits the button, and they get letters from home. And I thought this was really cute.
This was cute.
And Danny, once again, is breaking down over his kids. Everyone's having a cry. I thought this was a really cute moment. And then there's just something that I found really, really funny. So it's like they cut to a random conversation like later on in that day with Charlotte and Ari. And Charlotte's like, I would marry you for companionship. And I'm like, I feel that. And then she's like, but
pandemic.
Yeah, and she's like, but I would have like 5 outfit changes at our wedding. And I was like, that's a wedding I want to go to.
Ari would probably have more than that.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. And it's at this point that we see Danny sort of finalizing this deal with Katie and Jess specifically. It's this final 10 deal that we talked about in the previous episode. But Jess tells Katie that she wants to say yes and like agree to it and then not actually move forward with it, which is like devious, but I'm on board because
honestly too though, like I feel like the other side would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I have a point on that when we get to the eviction room. So then it's the next day, the next morning, and Danny goes to the DR saying that he has neurological issues. And then he gets isolated because he has a temperature and they have to do a COVID test. And I was like, this is the first time where COVID is being addressed in this season.
Yes.
Because it wasn't, if I remember correctly, around the time that they were filming there, like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good for Australia, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And so this is the first time that COVID is like kind of addressed on this season, and I appreciate that it is like fully transparently addressed. So I also love that the only place they can isolate Danny is in the attic. And so you're making a man who's dizzy climb up steep steps into an attic. Make that make sense, Jordan.
Look, none of it made sense.
Great.
Like, honestly, they should have probably just taken him out of the house.
Yeah, but also, like,
he was very adamant that he didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't. Because they probably gave him the option, and he just had to isolate.
Make him go up the fucking ladder. Because
as someone with vertigo, I would absolutely love to climb up steep stairs into an attic. Sure. Great. Love it. So then we get into the nomination challenge, and Big Brother tells the house guests that Danny is isolated until he gets a negative COVID result, and because of that, he can't be nominated.
Oh, I would have been so mad. I would have so been mad.
And I know that this is like a serious thing, and like it's a serious like potential scare. This felt produced somehow. And I don't know how. it felt produced to me.
Well, like, it felt produced in the sense to like keep the rivalry going. Like, it felt like Katie this was her challenge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely wasn't produced. I'm not saying it was. It just feels that way because, like,
I mean, there have been some moments throughout the season already that have felt very produced. So,
yeah,
I get it.
And this isn't one of them, obviously, because like COVID is nothing to like.
In the footage before he went to the DR, he looked like he was wobbling around and stuff.
Oh yeah, like he definitely like had an issue and he had a full-on temperature. So like, yeah, I'm definitely not saying that he like intentionally did this. It just like it felt very convenient timing. Let's say that. And
Indeed.
So, Jordan, our lovely question we ask during every nomination challenge: how would you have done with this challenge?
I would have done really well, or I would have sucked.
I think this is a challenge I think I would have done well.
This is a challenge I'm surprised SJ didn't do better at.
I mean, she did decently. She didn't do great. So the challenge is you have to stick balance on a wobbly pyramid, basically. And I have really good balance because I was a dancer. So I think I would have done pretty decent.
We should try to find a way to build one of these, like do a showdown.
Yes. Some of these challenges, like, that'd be real cute. That'd be real cute. I have an idea. So, to no one's surprise, Charlotte is out first. Because she can't even get on the fucking thing.
Charlotte is a struggle bus and a half.
Yeah, and then Marley falls shortly after. And I was like, you would think he would do well, but then again, being tall isn't necessarily a strength in this challenge. So we get a series of live transitions, and after the first two transitions, we are left with Tilly, Katie, Jess, and Mel. And we ultimately are left with, shocker again, a Katie Tilly final two. And I'm just like, the women are slaying. The women are slaying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I love to see it. But unlike every other challenge that they've done so far, where Katie and Tilly were the final two, Katie wins! Yay!
Katie wins! Yay!
And it's finally like the first opportunity that side of the house has to take a shot. And I'm excited about it.
I would have been so mad.
Literally, this is the first opportunity Katie has to potentially nominate Danny, and she can't even do it because he's isolated. And I was just like, no. So we get to Katie's nominees, and she nominates Nick, Mel, and she would have nominated Danny. But since she can't, she nominates Ari as, shocker, Jordan, a safe vote.
I cannot with this safe vote. Play the fucking game. Nominate someone that isn't a safe vote.
Well, who would to play devil's advocate in this scenario for Katie specifically? Who else would she have nominated? Everyone else is in her alliance. Literally every other person is in her alliance.
I get that, but like knowing that like Tilly is on the other side still, wouldn't you throw Tilly up?
Absolutely I would have thrown Tilly up. Oh duh, I forgot about that.
Tilly is getting fun. She's making it to the end in every single challenge.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just throw her up and see what happens?
You know what? That's actually a really good point. I'm surprised that other people have won challenges, and I'm surprised that like they had the one shot at Tilly, and otherwise like she keeps winning and no one's that is, you know what? That's a good point. I forgot about that. But yeah, so Ari, so Ari is the safe vote. Mel and Nick are both in the other alliance, strong players, and she wants to get one of them out.
finally.
And so the fallout of the noms is basically just like everyone is kind of in the same boat. Oh, it's either going to be Nick or Mel. Like the alliance is like has crumbled. And so Nick and Mel kind of have to turn on each other at this point, which is upsetting. For them, not for me. So we get to the eviction room, Jordan. And I don't remember what Sonia wore in the previous episode, but in this episode, she's wearing black pleather, and I was all
Wasn't
on board.
she wearing something blue?
At some point this week.
Sonia has a lot of blue.
Sonia does wear a lot of blue and a lot of red, I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So in the eviction room, Katie says that she's upset that she couldn't nominate Danny. Ari says that he understands the nomination. Nick actually thought that he was safe when Katie won because of the deal and kind of exposes the deal a little bit. They fight a little bit over whether Katie's trustworthy.
Like, I'm kind of glad at least, like, someone on their side also thought the deal was real.
Yeah.
But...
I don't know. Yeah, Mel is also upset that she's up with Nick. And she just wants to show that a regular person can go into Big Brother and do well. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, but also, like, you're aligned with Danny, so no.
Right.
Yeah. So we get to the eviction, and clearly these house guests are living on Chromatica, Jordan, because the vote was 9 to 1 to 1. 1. And Nick was evicted. And I'm going to be honest, Jordan, I was kind of surprised.
I thought it would have been Mel.
I absolutely think it should have been Mel.
Only because that would have... She's also someone that's really good at challenges. Like, I don't think you could have expected...
She's won 2 or 3?
Yeah, and Nick wasn't doing, like... Nick doesn't seem to be very good at challenges, so I would have taken the shot at someone good at challenges before I would have taken, like, someone like Nick out.
Yeah, but Nick is gone. We've lost our tallest house guest, our gingerest house guest.
Our most gullible house guest.
Most gullible house guest. The what did he call himself? He's not the sheriff. He's the no, he is the sheriff. No, he's the sheriff. The sheriff is gone.
Because Danny's the general.
Yes. And Danny wasn't even there to see Nick go, which I thought was also really fucking funny.
Bye.
Honestly, I would have just been like screaming up to the attic, "Bye, Danny." But yeah.
Do you think that Nick knew where the attic was? Like,
no, I don't think he has any idea. Actually, now that I think about it,
I am so confused about. Like, we'll talk about it Saturday, but like, how are the intruders going in? It looks like they have to go in through the basement. But then they have to come out of a couch.
I don't know. Yeah, well...
ultimately hide under platters.
Yeah, well, so we'll talk about... We have a lot of stuff to talk about in our episode on Saturday. But there's also something, Jordan, that was announced today that I'm very excited about. Would you like to talk about it?
More things to add to our schedule, perhaps?
Yes! Oh, y'all, we are a week out from BB Can, and we are already in Big Brother 23 preseason. BB 23 is coming! Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
So that's clearly on our horizon.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned to our socials for the deets on when the cast.
Yeah.
We do our cast analysis and stuff. And I hope that I don't cheer for someone that's bad.
Oh God. This is our first season in 2 years with this first time in 2 years, Jordan, we're getting new house guests.
Look, it's the US. I wouldn't be surprised if they sprinkle in a few oldies.
Oh, I hope not. Unless they're good. No, I feel like because they just did All Stars. I don't think we're getting newbies. But did you see the house theme reveal?
No, I did not.
So in case you didn't know, the day that we're doing this is Thursday, whatever today's date is. I don't know, the 12th, 13th. So it was announced today on Clubhouse of all things, which I thought was really fucking weird. But it was announced on Clubhouse today that Big Brother 23 is going to be premiering on July 7th, which is what we heard in spoilers. So I'm really excited about that. The theme for the year.
They simplified their logo.
I don't know. It feels like I feel like it has something to do with the new team because there's a brand new casting team. It feels already very different. But the theme for the year, Jordan, is BB Beach Party.
Okay.
I'm just like, can we get sand in the bathroom again? I'm on board for that.
Can I move into the bathroom if there's sand on the ground?
Honestly, that feels like such a mess though, because then if you shower, you're just gonna track sand through the house. Oh my God, no.
All of the ants will be out in full force.
Oh my God. As long as no one's fucking on a stool in the shower, we'll be good.
Never say never. It is Big Brother US.
Oh my God. So yeah, so it'll be premiering on July 7th. I think one of the other things that we heard is that it's going to be a live move-in.
Yay for that.
Honestly.
I mean, we haven't had a live move-in since BB Over the Top.
Last year was live.
So.
Yeah, and apparently we're getting, they learned what we liked, the few minuscule things that we liked from BB22, because we're also getting day one live feeds, Jordan.
Yay.
And the rumor is that we're not getting a day one eviction again, which, thank God. I hate day one evictions.
I hate those too.
But I am very, very excited.
I'm super excited. That content's just coming in.
We are not going to be able to slow down. We have all the things. We have a couple videos, 3 actually, coming out the rest of this week. We've got a lot of things going on next week. A lot of shows premiering the first week of June. Everything's premiering the first week of June or the first week of July. So there's going to be a lot. Yeah. So we have a lot of Fallout content for you on the horizon. We will be back again on Saturday, 10:30 p.m. EDT, 12:30 p.m. AEDT.
That's going to be an episode not to miss because we already have lots of feelings.
Oh, y'all, the feelings, the thoughts, the opinions.
All of the above.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us tonight for BBAU. As always, like we said, we will be back Saturday or Sunday if you're in Australia to talk the Tuesday and Wednesday episodes of week 3. And with that, see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.